Northeastern wild turkey hunt is this coming Monday. Today's Saturday. It's actually Youth Day. My son happens to be ill. He's recovering. I think we can go out this afternoon. I've already done a bunch of scouting, and I've located several gobblers, a bunch of jakes. I know some places where I can take Bryson this afternoon if he's feeling up to it. So anyways, that's beside the point. But yeah, the turkey hunt is upon us, everybody. I hope you're as excited as I am. Now, before we get into the meats and potatoes of this video, which is turkey hunting, which is what you're here to see, and I do go on to harvest 2 turkey in this video later on in the video. You want to watch the whole thing through so you can get to those hunts where I harvest 2 main gobblers. I get one with my bow too. But before we get into the meats and potatoes of this turkey hunt, I want to share with you some beginner tips that are very important so that you don't get frustrated and lose all hope and faith that you're going to get it done. And if you're anything like me at all, you get frustrated easily when things aren't going your way. And turkey hunting can be just like that. You're going to have more days than not that aren't going to go your way. I know you're here to see some turkey hunting, and you're going to soon, but I want to share with you some tips. So especially if you're a beginner turkey hunter, or if you've only been hunting turkey for a couple of years, or even the last 5 years, these tips might be helpful for you. And I don't want you to go on turkey hunting and give up after the first, second week of the season. I've done that in the past, and I'm sure you have yourself. It's a common thing that turkey hunters think that, oh man, they're call shy, they're decoy shy. Those are 2 myths. Those aren't true. Call shy, decoy shy. Decoy shy, yeah, they can. I've had decoys mess up my turkey hunts, and you probably have too. But call shy isn't really true. If you watch the Hunt in Public and listen to all them guys, and Dale Outdoors, and all that, and all them other really phenomenal turkey hunters that really know their stuff, you're going to quickly learn that call shy isn't a thing. Decoy shy, yes. And obviously, shy and turkey kind of altering their habits, their routines based on human presence, human pressure, and lots of disturbance from vehicles, construction, predators, all that stuff. That can alter the turkey's travel patterns and travel routes and behavior in your hunting area. You want to watch out for that. But all that can lead to frustration and lead to a turkey hunter giving up too early. And I'm guilty of that. And it's because turkey hunting can kick your butt and make you frustrated really early on. Because you could have scouted 8 areas and know where there's some great big toms, 3, 4, 5+ year-old trophy tom turkey, and obviously other hunters are probably going in and out of there, disturbing the area and put pressure on them birds, and you're in there hunting and put pressure on them birds trying to get one of those gobblers, and very quickly it can lead to frustration and lead to a hunter giving up altogether for that turkey season. But what I want to share with you is some tips that should help motivate you to keep going, keep pressing on right to the very end, to the gritty, nitty end. I'm talking to you to keep pressing on and not give up right to the very end, right to the last day. Because I know you'll get your turkey this season and go on and fill all your turkey tags if you just follow these tips. Now, I want you to know. Now, I don't want you to take just my word for it, but if I want you to go and watch other YouTube channels and Google this and do your research. But all the research out there has shown turkey hunters that just when you think that turkey aren't there, you don't hear gobbling and yelping, and you're not hearing turkey, because turkey hunting is very audible. That most hunters, 90% of the hunters, will go into an area and just hunt them based on sound alone. But all the research out there has shown hunters, has proven to hunters time and time again, that the turkey are there. Just when you think they aren't, and that all hope is lost, then there could be other hunters around hunting in them woods where you know there's a big flock of turkey living, doing their thing. The flock's obviously broken up into groups of 2 or 3 Jakes and a couple Toms traveling together, a group of hens here, a lone hen here, a lone satellite gobbler here, and so forth and so on. They're going to spread out in your hunting area. This flock could be a 25 bird flock. They're not going to be all bunched up, grouped up at this time of year during hunting season. There's hens going into their nesting areas and building their nests, starting to lay eggs each day. And the gobblers are going towards the strutting zones. They're going off their roost and strutting in their strutting zones and moving on to a new strutting zone and feeding area. And Jakes are doing their thing, and these turkeys are spread out all over your hunting area. But turkey, they don't constantly vocalize. They're not going to constantly purr and do the 2 and 3 note yelps, and they're not going to constantly gobble and putt and all that stuff. For the most part, the majority of the time that the turkey are roaming their hunting area, they're actually mute. They're very quiet, and that's why they survive. And I mean, you can imagine if they were constantly making noise, constantly vocalizing, they're drawing attention to themselves to those coyotes and bobcat, hawks and owls and hunters. And there's going to be many, many more getting killed. And eventually the whole flock would get killed off if they would constantly vocalize. But that's not the case. They are wild, northeastern wild turkey are survivors. You got to imagine they live in the harshest of climates, harshest of areas with ample predators that are hunting and going after to eat these things. So just because you're not hearing a gobbler or hearing a hen or hearing turkey in general, or hearing scratching and stuff, doesn't mean they're not there. Don't give up. They're there. The research has proven it time and time again. And so how this research plays out is like they're scientists, biologists, turkey biologists. They radio collar, do some telemetry radio collar thing with the turkey, send them off their merry way, and they monitor the hunters, the hunter presence in that area that these turkey are living. And they've shown and proven time and time again that the hunters are sitting there up against a tree doing their calling, have their decoys spread out, and the turkey aren't answering. And it's been shown in the research that turkey were within 50, 100 yards of these hunters the whole time that the hunter was sitting there trying their best of luck calling one in. The turkey were just shy. The turkey were being survivors. They were doing what they do best, and that's survive. And they were surviving the hunting pressure, all that. But what this tells me as a hunter, and what it should tell you as a turkey hunter, is you just got to adjust your turkey hunting approach and tactics. Not completely, but a little bit enough to like where maybe you leave the decoys at home. Decoy shy is a thing. Decoys can a lot of times ruin your hunt. I've had many, many times mature older gobblers hang up 60, 80 yards out there, 30 yards beyond the decoys, and just not commit to the decoys. They just commence to gobble and strut, put on a show, hoping to draw the hen decoys, the fake hens, to them, because that's the way the turkey mating happens. Is the males attract the females to them. And so that's why, like, a lot of times decoys aren't always the best bet. Leave them home. Try that this season. I'm doing it. I'm actually not using decoys this whole turkey hunt season because I've had them mess up my hunts more than not. So try that. Just try it without decoys. And try not calling. Try just scratch. Try just sounding like a group of hens feeding. Like turkey just grazing and browsing through the forest. Just scratching in the leaves. Just that alone can fire up a gobbler, get a gobbler's attention, get him perked up, thinking that, oh, the hens are over there doing stuff, eating, and he'll come in silently. 99% of the time, the gobbler will approach cautiously, silently, with his head high, looking, constantly stopping to listen, and you do some more scratching and seal the deal. He's going to come in, boom, give you a 30-yard shot, boom, lights out for that turkey, and you filled one of your spring turkey tags. So really, that's what so a lot of times what it takes is just adjusting your tactics a little bit to seal the deal. And so just remember that this coming season. Don't give up hope. Don't think all is lost. Those turkey are there. Just when you think they're not, the sign is there, right? You're going in after a rain and you're hitting all those mud holes, those muddy areas. You're not seeing no fresh boot tracks from hunters, but boom, all of a sudden there's fresh gobbler tracks in that mud after a rain just went by 24 hours early. And that's telling you for sure, 100% sure, that those gobblers are still there. They're there roaming that hunting area, doing their thing, strutting, putting on a show for their hens, and they're there. But don't give up hope. Just remain calm, patient. And a lot of times too, it takes a hunter sitting another hour or two longer than what they initially planned to seal the deal as well. Just, try just very, very light calling, scratching the leaves, do a little bit 2-3 note, light talk, turkey hen talk that they do when they're in close proximity. You've got to be in the bubble. You got to be within like 20 yards of turkey a lot of times to hear a lot of their 80% of their vocalization. I'm sure you've experienced this many times, like when hunting out of a blind perhaps, and have had turkey within 10 yards of you, and you've heard, and many times I've heard it, and I'm sure you have too. I know you have, especially if you've been hunting turkey for many years. You've heard them hens, those 2-3 note little yelps, and it's probably that loud. It is so quiet. It's not loud enough to hear out to 100 yards. You gotta be under 50 yards. You gotta be within 20 yards or right within the bubble of them turkey to hear that light feeding talk, that light contact calling, as you will. I like to call it contact calling, just where the groups, the turkey are together and they're just communicating back and forth, keeping each other in check, so they know where one another is. They're doing this when they're feeding, scratching, they're purring, a little couple 2-note yelps and things like that. They don't do it constantly, non-stop, but they do it periodically. And so a lot of times a hunter is going to be most successful going into an area where the birds have had hunting pressure in the past. They're decoy shy, this, that, and they're not always answering to the calls from the hunter. A lot of times the hunter's successful in just going to an area where they know the turkey are going to travel by, go into their feeding area, like an area where they know they're not there yet that time of day. Maybe they're still close by their roosting grounds, or the strutting zone for that gobbler. And the hunter, they slip in along the ridge top or along into the oaks, in the area where they know the turkey come in to do their loafing, their late morning, midday loafing, as they call it, where they just kind of just hang out, mill around for hours on end in just this one little area, feeding, scratching, and doing their thing for midday. A lot of times too, turkey will lay down, bed. I've seen turkey lay down and rest in the shady area while others were up feeding and toms were just strutting and drumming and strutting. Turkey will bed down, lay down midday and rest throughout the heat of the day, and they'll go into a forest along the ridge, into a shady area with a nice light breeze on the heat of the day when it's 60 degrees, and they'll just loaf around. Now, hunters that are doing their scouting, putting in their homework and scouting hard and learning that the travel patterns and feeding patterns, roosting patterns, and all that of their turkey flock that they're hunting, good hunters will know where these loafing areas are. And they'll use that to their advantage to kind of slip in nice quietly in early morning and work their way toward, wait a long way from their roosting area, so they're not bumping the turkey off their out of their roosting grounds and off the roosting trees. And then the hunter will slip into these loafing areas and set up shop and just be patient. And they'll scratch in the leaves every so often. Do that light purr and that 2-3 note light yelping, and there's some more scratching. And then wait patiently for a half hour, listen, look, do some more scratching in this loafing area, and just sit there for 3, 4, 6 hours, maybe even all day. Sit there in that loafing area, and whammo, you're going to punch a tag. Eventually, if you're staying calm, still enough, and you're not drawing too much attention to your sit spot, those turkey are going to work their way into this feeding area, this loafing area, and they're going to come out into your shooting lanes, and you should be able to get a 30-40 yard shot with your shotgun at a nice big gobbler, late morning, midday. So there's that tactic too. And so there's all kinds of tactics that I could share with you today, but I'm obviously long-winded here. I've already rambled enough. But there's so many different hunting approaches or tactics, if you will, that you can use to seal the deal, to go out there and punch your spring turkey hunting tags. So yeah, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this hunt. On this first turkey hunt, and during this Maine spring turkey hunting season, I'm set up in an area where I know many gobblers roost several hundred yards away from where I'm set up in this particular location. I do have decoy spread. I do have a Jake decoy and a hen decoy set up out in front of me because I'm in a wide open area, wide open field, and decoys have worked for me here in the past. I found that the gobblers, Jakes, aren't decoy shy in this particular spot, so that's why I was using decoys at this time. And I was just periodically calling every so often, like maybe every half hour I'd do some light yelping, a little bit of turkey talk, and then I'd shut right up and just remain calm, patient, and hope that they'd come on by. And so this approach and tactic I'm using on this particular hunt, I'm just going to an area where I know there's ample gobblers, a lot of turkey, and just setting up decoys, and I sat it out for like 6 hours. It's probably a 4 to 6 hour sit, just remaining calm, patient, hoping that they'd work their way into this feeding, loafing area where I see them often late morning, midday, and where I've had success on shooting a gobbler like late morning. It was like 11, maybe noon time. I've killed a gobbler in this exact location. And so, yeah, so I've just chose to go here with that approach, just knowing that they're around and just sit and be calm, patient, just every now and then let out a call. I get the call. I have my decoys right here. There's the decoy. Them in. Open. So that first attempt was a bust. I got skunked. Nothing come in that particular morning. But now on this hunt, I'm actually doing a spot stalk. I spotted gobblers strutting, and with a bunch of hens and some jakes too out in this field. And I had just actually driven up to this hunting area where I've hunted turkey in the past. And voila, there they were in the field. There were some strutters strutting, put on a show for the hens. There were some hens. I saw some jakes. Then I quickly park and get all my gear and start putting on the sneak. Start stalking these turkey out in this field where the grasses were already almost knee-high. And I'm working along real slowly and cautiously, carefully, listening and looking. I'm keeping a low profile, and I jump a hen. And you gotta check this out. This hen just goes off shrieking and shrill. She obviously had a nest close by. This hen had been laying her eggs for the last several days, I imagine, and had a nest really close by where I was parked and where I was coming into this field. And it's plainly obvious, because you gotta check this out. but they're looking at me. Yeah, they're looking at me. Crap, they're looking at me. They're looking at me. I can see them, they're right there. That hen's nested. She's got a nest right here. She's got a nest. Now look how big they are. Where are they going? I wonder if they'll... They're right there. They're a long ways up though. Alright, so besides having that cool experience with that nesting hen, obviously that hunt was a bust. I didn't get one on that particular outing. The gobblers hung up way out there, further out in the field, and they eventually disappeared into the forest. And I just gave, that hunt was a bust, got skunked. I had a cool experience with this nesting hen. But so here it is the next day, going after these turkey in the same field, and kind of similar to the first hunt that you just saw. I'm kind of doing a similar approach where I'm going in with my ghost blind early morning, getting settled in, set up behind the ghost blind good and early, and just waiting them out, waiting them to enter the field. I know they're roosted nearby this field, and I figured put out a hen decoy and just lightly call every now and then. Would bring in some gobblers out into the field to investigate and look and come put on a show for my hen decoy. A lot of turkey activity in this field. I knew to go back there the very next morning, and I knew they'd be roosted close by. I never went running after these birds. I never went chasing after them and spooking them out of the area. I never gave them reason to avoid this field, and never gave them turkey a reason to alter their travel patterns through this field and around this field. I immediately got out of there, slipped out of there when I knew it was a bust, when I wasn't going to be successful, and I decided to go back the very next morning, and I did that, set up behind the ghost blind, got all settled in, sit back nice quiet, and once daylight came, I tried a little light calling, just enough to let them gobblers know that there was a hen back in that field, and to let them come take a look, come investigate. And it worked like a charm. As you see, these were jakes actually, these two jakes, they come out into the field and they work their way right to me within gun range. I missed. I missed. I missed. I just missed them. Just missed them. Oh man. Can't believe I just missed. I just missed. That's, I think, the first time I missed a turkey with a shotgun. No, it isn't. Oh, he's still there. Oh no, that's the hen. I just missed that Jake. Luckily, it was just a Jake. There's some big toms in here, but they were coming right to me. I should have. I don't know how I missed. Got impatient. Got too impatient. That's why. It happens. If you're at this game long enough, if you're hunting turkey long enough, you're going to miss some. Especially if you take those long Hail Mary 60-yard shots. The shot pattern spreads so far that it's easy to miss one. So yeah, unfortunately I missed that Jake, but it was just a Jake. But so here it is, another day, another hunt. And on this approach, I'm actually set up in a blind. I go in, because it was raining. This was a rainy day hunt. And so I had to set it up in my blind with my camera equipment and all that. So I don't want to get wet and being rainy and all that. And I'm in like a clear cut, set up in this blind where I know there's always gobblers roosted nearby. And again, like I've done in the last 3 hunts, I just go and set up, just knowing they're there in the area, and just remain patient and weigh them out. And as you're going to see, I peer out my blind window and I see them coming. I see 3 Jakes working their way my way. And so you gotta walk. think I shot bigger of it too. And so now I'm on a bow hunt for a mature gobbler, for at least a 2-year-old or older gobbler. And I'm behind my ghost blind, out in a wide open field with a Jake decoy and hen decoy set up out there 20 yards in front of me. And I'm actually set up in the same location where I was on the first hunt in this video you're watching. The very, very first hunt you saw me on in this turkey hunting video. I'm there again in this spot, but this time with my bow in hand, trying my luck with the bow, and it all pays off. It pans out. Now this younger gobbler comes in, and he does shy away from the decoys at first, because before this gobbler came in, a hen come by with 2 or 3 jakes. I think there were jakes. There could have been a tom in there, but there were multiple gobblers came by me with a hen, and it was sometime after that this hen and gobblers come by that I heard this one that ended up shooting behind me. I think he got his butt. I think there was a fight, and this group of gobblers whooped this young 2-year-old gobbler's butt early that morning. So I think that's why he didn't come rushing right into the turkey decoy set, because I don't think he wanted to get his butt whooped for a second time when he saw that male decoy, because I think he just lost the fight earlier. And so I'm pretty sure that's what played out here with this gobbler. And he went on his merry. He carried on grazing every now and then, gobbling, doing a half strut and gobble, and he walked away from me. I let him go completely out of sight before I called again. Once this gobbler went around a corner, was out of sight, I let out some yelping, and he immediately answers. And I wait a few moments, and he gobbles on his own again. Then I call again, and he gobbled before I even finished yelping. I heard him gobbling. He answered to that right away, and right then and there I put the call down. I shut right up, just remained quiet, and here he come marching right in, and I end up getting him with my bow. And this was a great hunt. When this guy come in, my heart was beating so fast that I thought I was going to blow it for the second time. Just late last week, I shot a big tom with my bow and I couldn't find him. I hit too much of the breast area. If you shoot a turkey in the breast with an arrow, you're not going to kill them. They'll keep on living for who knows how long. They'll become coyote food maybe. But yeah, I blow my opportunity on a bigger tom than this. That big old tom I shot with my bow last week had a 10+ inch beard. He was a good 3-4 year old tom. And I just hit too far forward, too low in the breast region, and didn't kill him at all. I couldn't find him. I searched and searched for over 3 hours in through the dark. I just couldn't find him. But I don't know what I did to deserve this morning, but I'll take it. I feel extremely blessed and fortunate to have tagged out on Eastern Wild Turkey here in Maine. And I tagged out on a nice 2-year-old, a good solid 2-year-old, about 1/4 inch spurs, and maybe 7.5. It looks like a good 8-inch beard. That's probably a solid 8-inch beard all day. A good respectable, solid 2-year-old tom. And I set up here with the ghost blind in this area, expecting to just see turkey just coming through all on their own. My tactic here was this morning was to just set up here in this area where there's ample amount of turkey. I find tons of turkey scat and feathers and tracks out in the field and in the pit and everywhere else along the dirt roads. There's tons of turkey in here. So I knew to just come in and just set up and hope for the best. Do some periodic calling. Maybe every 30 minutes call a little bit with the e-collar or the box call. And I did just that. And I was blind calling there for a while. And I hear some distant gobbling way down the dirt road, way behind me. And I think it was 2 jakes and a hen coming through. They sounded like jakes. They didn't sound like mature toms gobbling. They definitely sounded young. So I think a couple jakes gave me the slip. I thought I heard a hen talking. So I think they were henned up, and the hen pulled the jakes with her deeper into the valley through the woods out this way. And they went on. I thought all was lost. I thought that my hunt was over right there. But I stuck with it, and I call again. I call with the box call. And I hear this guy gobbling out in the same direction that these jakes and hen come from. And he sounded older. I knew it was a tom. So I call again, and he quickly answers. So I knew he was coming to my calling. So I shut right up. I put the box call down. I just waited out. And you know, moments later, he gobbles off to my left, a lot closer, maybe 100 yards away. So I don't call anymore. I knew he was coming. He finally does make his way out into the field out in front of me here. He does see the decoys, and it puts him into gobbling and strutting mode. But he wouldn't commit. The gobbler wouldn't come to the decoys right away. But he stayed out there strutting and gobbling. I'm just filming him with camera. And he's gobbling and strutting at about 80 yards in front of me, beyond the decoys. He was probably 30 yards from the decoys. But he wouldn't commit. He wouldn't come in. And he'd go to feeding. He'd just graze and feed along. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? There's a jake over here trying to mount a hen. Come kick his butt. That's what I'm thinking. I'm expecting him to come in and attack my jake decoy. And he didn't. He just continued on down the field. He'd gobble every now and then. He knew there. I mean, he wanted to, but I mean, I don't know if he had his butt kicked by them jakes. Actually, the fact that I know those were 2 jakes with a hen. I'm guessing the 2 jakes beat him up maybe. They were probably having a fight down here behind me. And the jakes probably beat his butt just moments before he'd come in. Because he was all by himself, and those other 2 with the hen went on. So I'd say those other 2 won the fight and took the hen with them and went on their merry way. So I think that's why he was a little hesitant at first. 'Cause I think he probably just had his butt kicked, and he wasn't too sure. I don't think he wanted to come in and get his butt whooped for the second time this morning. That's probably the best case scenario that I could figure out. I'm pretty sure that's probably what played out. Quite sure. I'm a little tongue-tied here. don't know what to say, but yeah, he went on his way about 100 yards away. I call with that same box call. I call and he quickly gobbles to it. You know, he liked it. He liked what he heard. I call one more time, and here he come. I hear him closing the distance, and he come right up the edge. Just he'd puff up. He'd do like half strut along the way. He'd gobble, stop and gobble, half strut as he'd come. He'd close the distance more. He'd half strut, gobble again. I got it all on camera. I filmed him the whole way in. And he finally committed. He finally come in, and he was a little hesitant, nervous. I could tell he was a little nervous at first, but he finally puffed up and got into strut mode, and he puffed up, walked around the backside of the Jake decoy and come out front of him. I was waiting for him to attack him, but he didn't. I got to full draw, waited for him to take a few steps beyond my Jake decoy, and I put it right at the base of his neck. Made a beautiful, beautiful shot with my bow on this tom. I put it right where you're supposed to, right at the base of the neck, top of the wing, base of the neck. It just sliced right through the boiler room, and he only waddled off maybe like 10 yards and died right on the edge of the woods.